So, but going to hunt and getting goats, that's something special. So you share what you get with all the families down there because they gladly take what you get.
For the children.
For purposes of history, on early settlers, I believe that the sharing must be brought down to, because you don't know, we don't know the world, we cannot predict. We might go back again to things like that. But the whole thing is, at least they knew where we came from. We're fortunate, yeah, that we get this grove of kiawe trees, yeah. It's hiding a lot of stuff. People never know unless they go in the kiawe trees and look. But what you say about passing on this thing, yeah, I would for kids over here in the school here, I think they should know what the early people went through and what the modern world has done to make it easier. So they'll know that their ancestors had not an easy time, you know. So then the desire to capture some of the stuff they do and use it if they ever go to areas like that. When I take people out, the stories that I hear from my folks, yeah, I try to avoid taking people there who, these kind of people are not regular people who stay on Lāna. They come for a period of time and they go. When I go there, I can tell them, well, these people always here, you know, people. But those that are established, you know that there are certain things that they do that we are not supposed to know. There is maybe some death in the family and somebody is buried there. You know, those kind of things. The respect for these people. That was, when I was small, that was brought up every time, you know, that even, you know, when you sweep your house, you know, you sweep the house, you sweep everything out there. But what about the land? So we got a 5-gallon can. We got to make sure that you sweep the rubbish in there. Then gradually, you know, they cut that into some.
So you respect.
That was a subject that was pretty much important when we were growing up. You don't take your junk and when you like when you get goat, we cut it all up and we take the meat. All these excess things are taken out and buried, you know.
Not just kapulu, thrown
Yeah,
on the side.
you try to, but you got a lot of guys that do that. They leave it up on a mountain, and you know that's no respect for that animal. But that's why we take home all our stuff. And when we are up in a mountain, we find a ditch where we can move the whole earth and put stones on them, and we do that. But then immigrants come, they don't think about them. They just go out in the cart and they just leave it like that. but probably brought up no respect for the Aina. So the culture has something to do with all of these things too. So, but those who go with us, they're of different nationality. When they see what we do, they began to follow. So it passes on to the kids as the kids get bigger. So that type of situation, it's a good thing to learn. Some of the guys that come here, they from the city, that night there, they don't believe in that kind of stuff. So, but the guys here scold them because you told them, you bury those things. You know, you don't, it wasn't saying that you don't respect the Aina, but it's just that you don't leave things out like that. You bury them. Even if you don't have tools. That's why when we go hunting for goat, we take the intestines out, but then we look an area where we can move dirt and everything, and then we put stones on the top, so any wild dog that goes around don't have access to that stuff. In that way, we, preserve the Aina too. See what happens, yeah? The one I talked to you about is when you got a party and the invitation is open to the people on the island. So when the people come with this, what that name of that
Never,
Maneva, it's Morning Glory. The Morning Glory and that is together, but the Morning Glory leaves is round and flat, whereas the banana clusters. So you make a lay, it's easy. Right off the bat, they know where that individual came from yeah, Polihua. We know that this plant exists only in these places. So these guys, and at that exactly now, not very much was brought out on any history about things like that. But again, the pride of knowing that they come from there, they're aware of these things. And it's unusual, You look at Morning Glory, what you want to do? Pull them and throw them away, yeah? But then, this cluster things is amazing. So, when I first heard of that, I asked my parents, they don't want to tell, they don't want to tell me. That's why I go always by myself, because if I find, I'm not passing them on to anybody else. I keep quiet about the place. So, and then when I went down to Honolulu, and way the heck going to Waianae, I see a lot of that stuff down the beach. Yeah. So you gotta, if you consider development coming out on islands, yeah. Choice land that got this kind of stuff will be taken away. So somebody else gotta plant stuff that can maintain the growth of these native plants. Right? I would strongly oppose that like over here we got 483 acres. Yeah. I strongly propose that keep that area.
My name is Irene Perry. I was born in Keamoku, Lāna, the year 1917. My mother's name is Rose Kahikiwaki.
Aye. And so Mama's ohana were generational here on Lanai.
Lanai.
Kahikiwawe with tutu keli'i hana nui?
Yes.
Aye.
And
Papa came from Maui.
Maui.
Aye.
I know. Yeah.
What did Papa do?
He went to, when he got through with Lahanaluna school, he graduated, and then I think, this is what I've heard, that he was called from the company Lanai here to come over and do some put up some windmills.
Aye.
Because he had taken that at school. Yeah,
Engineering kinds of
engineering
things,
at
yes.
school. So he came and put up the windmills in Lanai.
Okay, so what were the windmills for?
And it was for, at that time they had kettles, and then they didn't have watersheds, and also they came and put windmills on several portions of Lanai,
Aye.
and they put troughs where then they run lines from the windmill. They pump water and run down to the troughs and all,
Aye.
so the kettles would have water.
Amazing, yeah?
Yeah, and I don't know, I often wonder how many windmills he put up.
Yes.
And I think I read an article, like something like 20-something windmills, I think, in different places of
Yes.
Kemoku and down, I think, of this area somewhere.
Aye.
But I know that he built quite a lot of them,
Aye.
and a huge one. You
Aye.
want me to tell him about that story?
Sure.
And it's where we lived in Kemoku. We had, and there was close to our house. He built a huge windmill. I think that was the largest one he built, and it was pretty high. And of course, he had men helping him. You know. So build the windmill. When he was done, that I thought that I was going to try and see if I can get him. And I think I must have been only about 10 years old. So I figured, well, my dad wasn't around, so I'm going to climb. And I did. Went up. It was easy. It was fun going up all the way and looked down. Oh, right, I can get some more. So I just went up until I got to the top. I had cut top and made it, and I looked down, and oh my God, it was. So I started down again, but then when I looked down, and it got like it was way, way up, so I couldn't go anymore. I was so scared I couldn't move. So I started crying and screaming a bit. And it was lucky that our house, it was right, the distance from our house, and my dad heard it. And he came up and I was up there screaming, I cannot come down.
So Dad had to go up?
Yeah, he came up and he said, okay, come down, and so we really moved down, and I got to step down, and finally we got down, and I never went back and walked down.
Yes.
Yeah, he built several little mills over there, and so the cow, we had cattle down there at the time.
So when you were growing up, your water that you folks drank and lived on, was it brackish water along the Kai?
Yeah, my dad built well right by our house.
Aye.
So we were lucky that he could do that, and he put running water to the house and all. And we used that mostly for cooking.
Aye.
And the coffee made beautiful, tasty coffee. So it's brackish water. Anyway, we had that only for cooking, and the water for drinking, we got it through Maui, or when we.
Oh, so tell, what would you do? You would go to Maui to get your drinking water?
Yeah, we got to have water, drinking water from there, or from, I think he came up.
Ko'ele?
Ko'ele,
So they would take bottles on the boat. You would have to ride boat, gallon bottle, and go get.
Just what for us.
Oh.
I don't know about the other family down there, but we did.
Yes.
Yeah, got water. So that's how we got our water. But for cooking, we used the brackish water from our well.
Aye.
And,
Hold on, I gotta
Kupuna, as a child, what did you folks eat? How did you live?
Really.
Yes, you know, what did you live off of, you know?
Yeah, well, we had most of our food from Maui. We have a little boat, I don't know how big, but you know. Then just about once a week, I think, that the families, they get together and make out the list of what they need, and then they give it to the captain, and then he goes to Maui. Then he takes it to the store, and that was that Get Long store, I think, in Lāna. And then they fill the orders, and then they take them down to the wharf and put them on the boat, and then ship them to Lanai. So we got most of our food from there. But like staples like poi, we had to get poi from Maui, and meat, pork was something like beef, you know. But fish, we get them all go fishing. You know, we get a lot of fish and crabs and a lot of ohiki, you know what ohiki is?
Ohiki. The sand crab, yeah? Aye.
Ohiki, and the sand crab is the ama, huh?
Ohiki. Ama is the black one.
The black one. This one, the stone.
Ohiki. All ama and what you call that? Alamihi.
Alamihi.
Aye.
Yeah. Well, we'd have that because there was plenty full at the time. They would reach, you know, we'd drop out places. And we used to go out with our little can and all and get the results, and God, that was fun.
Limu?
And had limus. We had limus. We had limu ele. And some, I don't know what other they can, but they, I don't know if they had the limu, what they call it?
Kohu?
I think they had limu kohu. And
Lipoa? No?
I'm sure they had
Yeah.
but I didn't know. The only thing I knew was the black.
Limu ele.
Limu ele.
Aye.
And then fish, we used to go out like weekends, Saturdays, mostly. Mama used to take the tronet, not tronet, but the, what you call it?
The scoop.
The surround net.
Surround net, scoop kind, surround.
And then we, the children, we go out and we all the neighbors, and we all go out, and usually we go by Kimuku, but well, they know what place is good. So we go out and all the kids, and we go out and put it, and then we get all the kids come in and we get splashed the water.
Pai.
Yeah.
Aye.
And then we didn't know at the time, it was fun. They said, come on in, you stop going. So we didn't know why we were doing that. It was fun. But then we learned that we were going to shoot the fish into the net. And then afterward, when they have wild, and they say, okay, then they come and just drag them in. When they bring them in and flay it out, and all the fish is in the net, so we go and just get them out of the nets. And then we divide, you know, to the families. And
so you would share.
It's always, there was always sharing food with the families. When they have whatever, you know, they have plenty, they bring to us, and the other family will have something and take to this. So we all shared all those things. It was nice.
Yeah.
And we, like I said, we got most of the things from Maui, and then with the fish, if we had plenty, we had salt it, or they go hunting and get deer or something. They would also salt that, and then leave that for the winter time, because when it's winter time, it was hard to go to Maui because the waves are, you know, rough.
Rough, and so.
So sometimes they can't go for a month or so. So we get our fish or meat or something like that.
And you would kaula'i something, pa'akai, kaula'i, like that.
We used to dry that, and we used to dry turtle.
Oh yeah.
They go to turtle, and they get turtle, and they kalua the turtle. You know, afterwards they kalua, and then when they get done, they bring them out, and then they shred it and salt it and dry it. And that would put aside for winter time too. But you sometimes never last because the kids that were so old sneak in and
Yes.
they but when Mama go there, they will lose everything. It's just half gone.
Away. Yes, but
so
you
we
see,
have to go without it. That's all. But
so you learn to live within the wealth and limitations, yeah?
Yeah.
If you take everything today, no more nothing tomorrow.
yeah.
Aye.
So we had to be careful. And then like poi, if we don't have poi, we had some sweet potatoes we used to have down there, but they weren't too good. I mean, not like the ones you get the other
Up here.
Yeah. So we had that, and if no more, well,
Hi. Kupuna, I want to go back and ask you real quickly. This is so important. And your mo'opuna, Gary, went to a meeting a few weeks ago about Hawaiian fisheries as an example. You described the upena ku'u, when they would set the net out, surround like that. That's a traditional practice, yes? Mama, them, the ohana, would gather together. You would set the net out. The kids, the children, would pai.
yeah.
You would take fish. But that was a traditional way. There weren't people from all outside coming, right?
No.
It was just the ohana. So it was sustainable. You always had fish, right?
We had fish, and when the weather was good, we had
Yes.
fish. We always, and that was what we dried
Aye.
to leave for
Aye.
the winter time
Aye.
fish. And no more poi. That's good.
Okay, so tell me your poi story about the poi coming from Lahaina and how Kaukahi or somebody would.
Yeah. The ranch at the time, it's when we were at Koyali.
Aye.
And we had the little store, so they were open every Fridays. And my dad used to be the one that, so they opened the stores, say about in the afternoon, maybe about 4 or 3 o'clock or something. And then they have the people come in to get the groceries.
Oh, we can pause.
There was this a worker over there named Kawakahi, and he was from Niihau, understand the kids, and we just loved him because we used to play, go to and sit and listen to him talk. He speaks Hawaiian, but in kind of hard to understand. But it's fun to hear, and we enjoyed him. So he used to be over that store. He comes in and then he buys his stuff, and he gets corned beef, and he says he wants a can of kini pipi. And we didn't know what he meant, But after we watch and he takes the corned beef, or that's what it is. But then they get the poi. They have the poi that comes. I think the poi was every Friday I think we got it from Manele. I think the boat used to come to Manele.
Came into Manele.
And then bring them in. But anyway, that's how we got our poi. So this one guy used to be sitting over there with that big barrel of poi, and all the others bring their cans and bowls, So this fellow, I think it was Billy.
Kaho'ohalahala. Yeah?
And he would dig into, he's the one that digs in the poi, and then you hold your poi like that, and he'd get funny sometimes, and you would take the poi and you would take them and you poops right into the poi. And that was fun for the kids. We all wanted to watch that. But that took poi, and then he'd dig to everybody, get their poi, and then they go back home.
Aye.
That's how we got our poi. That was when we were leaving at Koyeli.
Aye. Beautiful. Beautiful.
So,
May I ask one other question that I think is so important, and like for our students, our young people who are on Lanai now, they will never know these stories if you don't share. As a child, you shared that you would ride from Keomoku with Mama on horseback. And what would Mama do along the way? And then you would ride up the old Naha, the paved trail, into Palawai. Can you tell that story?
yeah, since there's several, every time Mama used to feel it's time to come up to see Tutu, because they were at the canal to help. So she would get this horse, and then I would be in the back. after sitting down. And the tide is low, so we would go from Kemoku, we would go to Naha side, and then come up when the water is, the tide is low, and then you can go. So my mama would take the big, gunnysack bags, these big brown bags, about them. And she would have that, and so she would go with the horse, and we would go right into the water, and I don't know how she says, and I'm back and forth watching, and she'd look, oh, there's the head, and she has her spear, and she says, spear, and then they got one hair, and then she puts the bag down in the water, and put the hair inside, but me, I'm like this, creeping, creeping, and I'm scared, so my leg sits up, and then she'd help. Put the bag, and they put the hair inside, and they loosen up because it's in the water, and then she brings them up, and she goes along until she gets there, maybe 3 or 4, and she says, well, that's enough. So we just journey up.
So you would go from Naha up the old stone trail. Yes, the old Alanui.
And at the trail at that time was nice. There was white, there was white rocks, and it was really place nice, and the horse would take the trail all the way up and to, I don't know how far that is.
It's many miles. So you would come up on the side of Ladnaihale, because then you come over the edge of the Pali and you could see Palawai. Yes?
Yeah.
So Tutu was living in Palawai?
Tutu was in Palawai at the time, and then would come and go over. And now that I think about it, I always look up when we go to Maui, and I looked up and how did we ever get from Kemoku side and come up? How did we get there? I couldn't figure out, because we did go up in the hill. So it's down below.
It is up and then the side, yes. Yes. So when you came with the he'e and the things, you folks were coming to visit Tutu, Keli'ihana Nui, and at that time Maka'aimoku, yeah? His wife, yeah? And what did Tutu do at Palawai? What did they grow?
They had a big patch of sweet potatoes. And that's the only one that I can think of that was sweet potatoes. They were huge.
Big sweet potatoes, yes?
Yeah, they were nice and big and sweet. And so that's when we come up. Yeah, and most of the time that's when we come up, when we have to harvest it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you would help them harvest. But so the people on Kahakai would fish and take care of things, and you could come Mauka and exchange goods with the Kupuna or families too, yeah?
It's always get up sweet potato and get the ohana. And Tutu was about the only people down there at the time.
That's right. By his time.
I remember, So they were the only ones. So
What an amazing journey that must have been, though. From the ocean to Ohe'e along the side, and then come up and the Kupuna, there's the Uwala.
Uwala, go help
Yeah.
gather, pick them up and put them up. Yeah, it was really fun.
Did Mama ever make lei when she was coming up? Did you folks ever wear lei or take lei to the Kupuna?
No.
No, okay.
No, we never did.
Okay. Now earlier, we were talking about some of the plants on Lanai with Kupuna saw, Uncle Saw, The maneva neva, You heard about it though, and you remember for your church, there's a song that's the church songs. Do you remember? The church had Kalokahi, the Kalokahi song, Kalanakila song.
Yeah.
Do you remember the song for the Kalokahi?
No, I don't.
Okay. Kupuna, I'm going to sing it for a moment, and then you'll remember. Okay? I'm sure you'll remember. Because remember when Uncle was talking about the maneva neva being the lei of the people of Polihua? And so when someone came from Polihua and they wore that, you already knew where they came from.
Yeah.
Yes? So the song is, ohu poli hua I kama neva neva hai ka lehi kaulana o ia aina. Kalo kahi oi o kamalama lama. Kahia po kalana kila. You remember that?
Yeah, that and heard, yeah.
Yes,
But
yes.
I didn't get to learn it.
Oh, okay. Well, but that song, even for the churches, from Kalanakila Church to Kalokai, it commemorates, ohu polihu ika maneva neva. Beautiful, yeah?
It is.
Maneva neva is adorned, or polihua is adorned in the maneva neva, yeah? Kale kaulana, the famous lay of that land. Beautiful, yeah?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
Is it important for our children to respect the land?
Yes.
Yes.
True.
Yes. But in order for them to respect, they need to know something of the history, yes?
Right.
If you were a teacher today, Kupuna, and you wanted to take the students someplace so that they could get a feeling, the sense of place of Lanai, where would you like to take the students? Where would you like them to see so that they could learn something about the history of your beloved Aina?
Yeah.
Anywhere. Where would you like to take them?
To Kemoku.
Keomoku, because that's home, yeah?
That's my place where
Aye.
I brought up.
So may I ask you, you were going to say but?
But now that all the Kiawe is there, it's not like
That's
then,
right.
you know. It's not
So,
as beautiful as when
yes.
we were there.
So the Keomoku that you remember in your heart from your youth, from your childhood, is not the Keomoku today.
No,
Yes. What's happening to Keomoku?
this full of yellow trees.
Kiave, and all of the mud.
But
Yes, all of the mud has washed
the
down.
mud washed down and flooded the place and almost just...
So if we teach our children about Malamaponoika Aina, take good care of the land. Perhaps we can restore some of that. You had said you would like to see them clean some of the kiave. Is that right?
Yes.
What would you like to see them do with the kiave?
Burn them down.
Burn them down. So open it
much.
up. Too much, yeah?
up.
Open up the Aina a little bit.
And it would be beautiful.
Yes,
yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
But there's too much, it's just that.
And see, kiave is not native. It's an alien species, yeah? It was brought here simply as feed for animals.
For animals,
Yeah.
Yeah, because we used to do that too when the kiawe beans are ready, you know.
Yes.
We used to go pick kiawe beans.
Mm.
And the kiawe, you get plenty.
Aye.
But like I said, it's wide open, you know,
Yes.
just fruit juice here and
Yes.
there. Like now you can't go
Yes,
there.
yeah.
And we used to get bags and bags of kiawe.
Aye.
And also we used to play, and when after school we get together, mostly on weekends we get together and we pick up beans and make a little fire, take a can of water and put water, then put the beans inside and we light it and sit there and talk stories, play until the beans is done, and then get them up and start eating beans.
So the kiave beans was ono too, huh?
It was good,
Yeah.
just like other beans.
Yeah.
It was good, and we did a lot of that all the time when the beans was. And some of the beans, they were when they matured, you break it and it's tasty.
Yes.
It's like honey.
Aye, almost like tamarind kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, get a little gummy and yeah.
And it tasted real good.
Yes.
So we used to watch for that certain ones that we know when it's good. So
Aye.
that, and then we cook the others for talk story and eating beans.
Aye.
It's really fun.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have a question about the Norfolk pine.
Aye.
How did they come about over here?
So
The
The Norfolk pine.
this one's up here.
Aye,
Yeah. Do you
I
know?
don't know. When we came up from Kemoku, some was already
that's right.
growing.
Kupuna came up from Keomoku about 1927.
Yeah.
Yeah? So around 10 years old. But in 1911, George Monroe came, yes? You remember George Monroe because he
Yeah,
was the manager, yes? Papa worked as the supervisor.
Right,
George
yeah.
Monroe was the manager.
Yeah,
So George Monroe planted the pine trees.
that's what I heard.
That's right. How come he planted the pine trees? Do you remember?
Well, from what I heard is to get water for, you know, that
Aye.
he noticed that there was a nice water would trickle.
That's right.
So planted that so that we'd have more water.
That's right. So that's what happened. Because one tree at Ko'ele was growing when you moved up, yeah? A big tree already.
Yeah, yeah.
That tree was planted by Walter Murray Gibson's family in the 1870s or 1880s. And what they found was when the Ko'ele, the clouds come through Ko'ele, yeah?
Yeah.
And so the moisture would drip, get caught in the pine needles, and drip down on the roof.
Yeah.
And so Monroe came. But what's interesting is, on Lanai, there's only one Norfolk pine, old one, and that's the one at
That's the
Ko'ele.
one that's growing now.
All of these other pine trees are cook pines.
Oh, okay.
But he brought it in. huh?
He brought them
brought it
in. So from 1911, they started planting because the cattle, the goats, the sheep, you describe even Keomoku being more wide open, yes?
Yeah.
The animals had destroyed so much